Yeah.
Amazing. Josh, are these puppy dogs coming with you today?
Yeah, they will.
Or at least the big hound, because he's taken a bit of a liking to SJ this morning.
Pardon? Okay.
I'm just screwing my thingamajiggy in. It's all good. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Natasha Makes. I'm Natasha. I'm making today. What are we making today? I hear you all shout. I can't hear anyone shout.
What are we making today?
There it is. That sounds really rude. There it is. There is the shouting. There you are. Good morning, SJ.
Morning.
Morning. Freshly back from Prague, I believe.
Yes.
Nice time.
Lovely time. It's a very pretty place.
Gotta go.
Very pretty.
Not like now, but.
I mean, that's kind of what I did.
You did. You did a proper last minute situation,
yeah.
didn't you?
Booked the flights at 6 p.m. and was on the flight by 7 a.m. Yeah, on the way to the airport at 4 a.m.
You can do that when you don't have kids, dogs, ducks, chickens, rabbits.
Yeah, and.
I mean, you don't even have a hamster to think. When I dreamt up Natasha Makes, I was like, well, why don't you do Natasha Sewing, Natasha Sews and stuff like that? Because I want to make everything. I want to make all the stuff. And today, we're making fabric bowls.
Very pretty.
This Sam Wilde fabric is just beautiful. I have got such a collection of fabrics for you today for these bowls. Now, I started off doing a Lisa China one. So we've got various bowls that I've done in various forms.
Yes.
I've never made so many samples to refine and refine and refine, and I think we've got it now. Look at that.
Stunning.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Very pretty.
So these are the bowls. It's been tested, and then I wait until Jane comes in the morning before I make my final version and go, only because it's got some sort of binding to it, and obviously she's the binding queen, and I wouldn't dare, officially finish anything with binding without checking with Jane that I'd done it right first. Which is ridiculous, and I know I sound like a small child, don't care. If you have someone that is an expert at something in the building, you jolly well use that.
Yeah.
And that's how you then become expert in these things. So, that's what we're making today. Essie, who do we need to say good morning to? Who is with us? Who is not?
We need to say good morning to Claire Upton.
Morning, Claire.
Lizzie Crangle is here.
Auntie Lizzie.
Kate Fenton's here.
Morning, Jane's mum.
Yeah. Ginny. Sophie.
Which Ginny? We've got a couple of
Ginny Twin.
Ginny. Lovely. Good morning.
Val.
Morning, Val.
We've got Pat Adams.
Morning.
Jane Vivash.
Morning, Jane.
Joe, Sharon. We've got loads of people with us this morning. So a big
good
hello
morning to you.
And
Right.
over to our YouTube as well.
Oh,
We've
YouTube.
got loads of
Hello.
people. I like
As I
it.
can find.
We have had some love for the dungarees this morning.
Already.
Yeah.
God, I love a pair of dungas. You just have. Yeah. Josh was very scathing about my love of a dungaree.
Oh, really?
He's now come round to it, yeah. I think because the first pair I ever bought had with denim with great big sunflowers on, and he's like, just look like a kid's TV presenter. I was happy with that.
I was going to say, you've probably been one at some point, surely. No? Is that one thing?
No, I did direct
Hey,
school, the
there
Shakespeare
you
Schools
go.
Festival, but that was
Knew
from-
it was
I
gonna.
had to just sit in the director's seat with the old cans on and listen. So no, that's as I've taught drama to kids.
Then
I've
I think
been
you
the drama.
been. I am the drama.
the
You
drama,
see
yeah.
the drama.
Well, that's as far as that got. So no TV kids presenting for me. However, my dream job would be Blue Peter. Just if anybody's listening and you happen to be a TV producer or anything like
I
that,
used to
my
love
dream
Blue
job
Peter.
can do all of that. And if an elephant poos in the studio, I'd clear it up. Like
You
it's
could
not
deal
a
with
problem.
that.
I can deal with that.
And Blue Peter have their dogs, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I can take Reuben. and Mabel, I can provide my own.
Yeah.
I could bring a studio bunny. I mean, options, Dave the duck. I could bring a menagerie.
Sausage.
Sausage. Sausage is not going to be with us for much longer. Not in a about to die way.
Oh,
Sounded a bit final.
yeah, I was about to...
My little nephew is 2.
Okay.
And his mother used to ride for an Olympic dressage rider. She's keen to get him on board a small pony. So Sausage is going to be a little person's pony for a bit.
Oh.
So he won't just be wandering around everywhere. He'll come
I'm
back.
a little bit sad.
He's just going for a little bit.
Have you broken
and then
this
he'll
to
come back.
Emily?
Huh?
Have you broken this news to Emily?
Yeah. I've had to upgrade her pony.
Of course.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like this pony?
We do have some technical issues this morning.
Go back 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's yeah, Jane's just popped ahead and gone.
Yeah.
There is not a lot that we can do about it.
No. We've had some technical issues this morning that might be having a knock-on effect to the stream. We are doing the best we can.
So, should we give our announcement then, Esther?
Yeah, I think it probably rolls in, doesn't it?
It sort of rolls in. We don't have particularly a timeline for this, but our landlord here has told us that we have to move.
We love to move.
We love to move. We have to move so that they can put all the things that are wrong with the place right. Hooray!
Yeah,
Could've
we
done
didn't
that before we
quite
moved in.
realise how many things were wrong with the place before we moved in, did we?
No, we did not. So a year in, almost, not even that, 8 months, and they've gone, so. We do have a new place in mind we are going to view, but I still have the memory of moving warehouse in my head. It's still fresh. Probably because I haven't unpacked everything yet.
Yeah.
It's still fresh in my head. So this sparked right, well, in that case, anything that we have not put on detected for a while.
Yes.
Until we bring your attention to it. So it's not like people just come in and browse and go, oh, that's a beautiful thingy-majiggy, I'll have half a metre of that or a metre of that or 3 metres of that. We don't have that capacity here. But what it means is that I looked around the warehouse and I went, I've moved that once already. I am not moving it again. So anything that I have moved once that we haven't put on a show again,
Because we just haven't got round to it yet.
it's going.
Yeah.
It's going. We are cutting it into meters, 2.5 meters, whatever it is increments, so that we know that our stock take is absolutely perfect and it is shipping out that door. So it's got to go. So obviously, in the meantime, we'll still have all of our new fabrics coming in because we've ordered those for the next year. So they will still be coming in. So you're still going to get that fresh influx of fabrics. We've got brand new fabrics for tomorrow's show. Anyway, they arrived this morning. Hooray. But it just means that you can pick up a few cracking bargains along the way. It's going to be a meterage because I ain't got time to skinny it down, I'm afraid. It just means it's gone, it's out the door. So the other thing is, when it's gone, it's gone. I won't be getting it back in again. If it's been sitting there on the shelves for 6 months, it's not worth me getting in again. Unless I have a burning desire to use stuff up. So let's have a look. Let's start off with this, then we'll move on to today's show, then we'll make stuff, and then we'll have another cup of coffee. Good. So how today's going to go, SJ?
Fabulous.
Right, Moochie linens. Let's start with Moochie linens. I love Moochie linens. You need to make bags and aprons and all sorts of goodies out of it. It's from Moda, and it's absolutely stunning. I have got 3 meters of the Paisley Moochie linen. I've still got bags that I made out of this. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Can we go overhead, please, my love?
We can.
Thank you very much. So that I can show you the Moochie linen. And it's gone. It's like a magician's assistant, isn't it? Gone. I've got 7 meters of this one. They're the same colour palette, by the way, the natural. This is your Moochie linen natural. Buy a 1 meter piece. It's just make your bags out of this, please, because it's really, really beautiful. Or aprons, or whatever it is that you're going to make. It's just stunning. It's such beautiful quality. I feel slightly sad, but it's got to go, SJ. What's it got to do?
It does. It's got to go.
These are all cut, ready to go. SJ's in with us to help get us up to date with all of our shipping.
Yes.
So that we can get all these things out the door. This is cut. This is your denim. So this is your yarn dyed denim. So the actual yarn is dyed. It's not printed or anything like that. I've got it in pink. I have got it in rose. I have got it in sky. Again, meter pieces. I've only got 2 of the grey denim left, and then that's gone. Stone, I've got 7 of those. I've got 10 of the sky, obviously got 6 of the fuchsia. Now, I've done a thing, SJ, because I kind of want you to make bags out of this, because it's really robust, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Now, say you were to do the Japanese bags where you fold it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the
Origami
Was it
bag.
the origami?
Yeah. Then just take a look. You'd have a feature coloured fabric on the inside. And I just want to show you how beautifully these denims go with this Anna Maria Horner fabric. I mean, if that
Stunning.
is not all meant to go together, what's printing?
It's probably what Jane was trying to get printed about an hour ago.
Oh, so our internet really has been on a slow go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well done, printer.
Sorry if you
It's
can
on a
hear
Monday
that
slow
noise in the
go.
back.
I mean, just look at ST. Look, it's just meant to be. Please buy that and that together. This is. Did I do this as a meter piece? I can't remember what I did this as. I might have even done this as 2 meters. Oh, this is 2 meters 10. I might have done a smaller piece of it, but this is 2 meters 10 of this. But please grab those and make beautiful bags with it, because it's just so stunning and it needs to be homed together. Please and thank you. Right, this is just the start of it, by the way. Each day we will be systematically going through our shelves, getting stuff loaded and out the door. Right, I have got 2 meters of, I went through our batiks. Now some of these batiks haven't been loaded since Jane did various quilts, blocks of the months and whatnot that had them in. If you want this one, I've got 2 of these, 2 meter pieces. They're generally 2 meter pieces apart from this one. I clearly got overexcited into, I thought I'd done 2 meters, but I'd done an extra ½ meter.
Fabulous.
Yeah. SSB 011 if you want this. I've done them as 2 meter pieces because they will back a quilt then. And being 30% off, that suddenly
Can't go
makes
wrong.
these very affordable for backing your quilts. Or just having in your stash. This is yellow. I've got 2 of these at 2.5 meters. And again, that's your salt dyed batik. This is a smoke dyed batik. This one is really beautiful. This is your blue. It's SSB 101 if you want the code for that. This one is a deeper shade, and it's a smoked batik. SSB 082 is your code for that. If you want your greens, this is it, isn't it? As soon as you get a fabric that has any kind of floral in, you generally got a green. Here it is. SSB 057, that is the code for that fabric there. They didn't come with names. They just came with codes.
Yes.
I remember at one point we had over 60 salt batiks, and Inga named them all for gemstones. There we go. There they are. If you'd like those, get ahead, shop ahead. Oh, I've just noticed Emily's book bag. Oh no.
Did she need to take that?
No, so it was looking decidedly grubby because, you know, she's 5.
Yes.
And so I put it through the wash. I wasn't sure, it washed beautifully actually, but I wasn't sure how well it would tumble dry. So I decided to give it a press to try and speed up the drying process.
Ah.
It's still a little bit damp. But I tell you what, it's washed up an absolute treat, given what a mucky little grub thing she is. Had all sorts of stains and whatnot on it. So yeah, you can wash them, which is another great selling point. Right, today's make.
Ta-da!
I love these. We made fabric bowls some time ago, and we got it out of a book. And that was all with fabric. It wasn't with cork. And then when we got the cork in, I really wanted to do a version like that, but with cork. And in some ways it's easier, and in some ways it's just completely different. I thought that would be easy because, you know, I sort of know how to make a fabric bowl. No, not when you change. Not when you change everything. So should we have a look? So, okay, I'll talk you through the processes. In terms of interfacing, you can use Decaville Light. I use Decaville Light for this one, and it's fine, but it is lighter. Okay. This was my very first one. I have progressed since then. Okay. And that was, oh, this is Jane's fault. Jane's table runner is tomorrow, and I thought what I really want is to have a gorgeous bowl
Can sit nicely with it.
that can sit on there, or on the side, or somewhere near it, like so. So that was why I started with that fabric. Then, it's going to look really beautiful with our metallic-y cork. So I went ahead and did that one. Now for this one I use buckram, which is what you use for your things round the you're just looking completely blankly at me.
I
now,
am,
actually.
sorry.
Your pelmets.
Your
Bits
pelmet.
round the top of the curtain.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pen dropped. And so in this one, I then discovered that I really liked using buckram, and that actually fusing it together, the base and the top, really, really worked for me. I didn't fuse that one, so it just, I don't know, this is more the finish that I want. And on this learning, I then had to learn about the corners. And this is where I went, you know what, I'm going to make those slightly wide around the edge. And we changed how we do the corners so that they look way, way, way more professional. And so these things progress. This is how we learn, right? This is very much how we learn. Now out of each bundle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you could either make one bowl, and then you could do yourself bags and bits and bobs with what you've got left over to match, or whatever you fancy doing. Okay. Should we go overhead and I'll show you the bundles that we've put together? Again, we've put these on at a cracking price for you this morning. We have got, with the silver cork, now these are all basically half meters. Half meters of your fabric, half meters of your cork. So with whatever cork or anything else that you've got left over, we've done so many cork-based projects now.
Yes, we do love a bit of cork.
We do love our cork. And yesterday, when I was over at that there Create and Craft, I did our rivet bag.
Yes.
But with a normal fabric, not a tapestry.
Ah.
So you don't have to use tapestry fabric. That's one of our Cafe fabrics. And I've always wanted to make a bag out of the paisley flower because it sort of creeps up the bag. But I love it with the natural cork figure, rather beautiful bag too. So we are enabling you to do all the stuff in all the world. Oh, and if you've got a little 12-inch square left over at the end of it, why not do the pyramid pouch in cork?
Perfect.
It's just lovely, just lovely. On that note, for subscribers, because we didn't get a chance, because the
Yes.
because the internet was playing silly, it wasn't playing nicely, was it, last Wednesday?
No.
We showed you how to put those handles in, but I did say that I would do a full demo of it. I have, and that is going up onto the member site. So if you're a Natasha Makes Designs member, that full demonstration was recorded yesterday, filmed yesterday. Josh is loading that today. Also, The workshop that we did ended up being 2.5 hours. So what I've
Full of
done-
content.
Yeah. What I've done is I have recorded how to make those in separate things for you. So you will be able to access that pouch. And it's because we didn't interface it during the workshop because it was just one more thing to wait for everybody to heat up an iron and this and that and the other. But I show you how to interface should you wish. And then the any size pouch, 10 minutes any size pouch, that is up there. And again, I took it that extra step this time by putting in a boxed bottom. So we got so far, we made a pencil case in the workshop, and I did say then if you want boxed bottoms you can. This actually shows you how.
Stunning.
So they are, if you are one of those design members, that is all now winging its way up onto the site. Okay, so let's have a look then at these bundles because they are rather lovely. Let's start with the silver core.
Natasha, can you just check your mic for me? Is it on?
Yeah. Oh, it's flashing. Why is it flashing at me?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to turn it off. And turn it on. Do I need new batteries, do you think?
I did put brand new batteries in it, but
The
maybe.
ones that were sitting on the side?
No, from the charging. Sorry, everybody. It's Monday morning.
Let's just give this a go. Otherwise, we'll just message Josh and tell him that I'm flashing and he'll be here in a second. Whoops.
Sorry, everybody. We are fixing the mic.
Is that better?
And hopefully we are back on now. Let us know if you can hear Natasha again.
What is going on?
I don't know. We've had a...
At least it's going on with you in the building. Normally it's, you've just left the country and
Sorry.
it goes wrong. Shall we take another look then? We will get to the bottom of these bundles. Let's take a little look. It gives you time to have a little peruse though on the website and check out what you want. Let's have a look then. So we have got a 1/2 metre of the silver cork and money off on the Kaufman. You can go with this. It's entirely up to you. The Wing It Mist, because bear in mind, right, you can have your feature fabric in the middle. And this is why, because Gemma said to me, why don't you just do fat quarters? And I said, because you're going to want to fussy cut. You're going to want to have him probably right in the middle. Or maybe this little chap here. So you're going to want to have that freedom to do stuff and maybe make it twice, at least, if not more. You can get 3 out of these easily. And then this one is the Daisy Extravaganza from Philip Jacobs Snow Leopard Designs.
Stunning.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? But here's the thing, right? This has got this silvery tones all through, which is just going to look so beautiful with the cork. I've mainly chosen florals for this because I just think it works so exquisitely. So all of these will come with a 1/2 metre of the silver cork. We haven't put the interfacing in because some of you might just want cork bundles because you love all the things. You can choose from the red and ivory. I know.
That looks very nice.
These are Lisa's Waratah bouquets. And this is what I did my first bowl with. And the sizing and everything was done to fit around this. I'm not going to lie.
Because it was just too pretty to cut into.
Yes. But also because I know how Lisa's fabrics work. So we've got that in red and ivory. We've got it in the black and red as well. And we've got it in the black and gold. And we've also got it in the teal and gold too. This is fabrics, because she's a quilter, everything ends up as a 12-inch block, right? Which means that you can make these bowls and have that as your centre. That's going to be a bit woo, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah. So you also have that option as well. And that will go with tomorrow's make. It's not going to be same, but it's going to be from the same collection if you want to go with that one. Now, also to go with the gold. The last of the pumpkin spice with that gold etching. Again, that's Robert Kaufman. You might be getting a little bit ahead of yourself. For me, come autumn, I always have gourds in a bowl.
Yes, you do.
I always have gourds in a bowl. That's why we've made our own pumpkins in the past so they don't go off. But gourds in a bowl, so yeah, if I could actually already have pumpkins in the middle of that, I'm a happy girl. Or maybe you want to then have a collection and have these gorgeous leaves as well. Or, ready for Christmas, this will make up like this one. It just is beautiful.
Silver. Oh, snow.
That's how the middle of mine, yeah. And then just because I love this fabric, we have also got this option. Obviously, I chopped that up and used it. But again, this design, just stunning. Just stunning. I nearly did it on point and then realised that actually the seam would then run straight through the middle of the flower. So I've done it this way, which means that actually you can just enjoy it as is, but it's got some interest there. And I just thought the balls would look fabulous too.
Yes.
These are called pom-poms. Posy pom-poms, which I thought was a spelling mistake and corrected everything on the internet only for Gemma to go, what are you doing? So they are your gold options. But then you've got the natural cork as well. And so I went for some beautiful florals with this. You're going to get your cork, your large grain.
It is very,
It's
very
a bit
gorgeous.
gorgeous, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really, really gorgeous. So then we've got all the glitzy ones. And then we've also got good old plain cork. Now, I also thought, again, so imagine your fussy cutting. Philip Jacobs, brand new rose and primulas. Imagine having that as the middle of your bowl.
Gorgeous.
It's too gorgeous not to, isn't
Yeah.
it? You can't not. It would be really, really rude not to.
It would indeed.
Honestly, I have struggled to choose which ones to do. Maybe I should do it in this one. I don't know, but I really like that one, and that goes with my kitchen. Oh, but talking of kitchen, I thought if you wanted to, because you could Odicoat these,
Oh, yeah.
so they wipe clean, by the way. And I thought, wouldn't Martha Negley's vegetables make just the best little fruit bowl?
I need a new fruit bowl.
There you go. You can make one out of this. We have a island in our kitchen, and we are giving you such a large piece here so that you can really, really, really fussy cut. Just gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And then a last of the Sanderson as an offering for you here. And again, just because it would be rude not to, how beautiful are these ones. If you're looking for this, it is called Chelsea. It is a Sanderson fabric. And again, just imagine fussy cutting that out, bringing the outside in.
Yes.
So, so beautiful. And of course, using cork, that beautiful natural fibre as well. Absolutely gorgeous. SJ, which do I use? Do I go rose and primulas, or do I go Emperor Peony? Which one?
Originally, you did want to go for this one, didn't you?
I did want to go for this one. Am I going for
And
this
it would
one?
match your kitchen.
Would match my kitchen. Thank you. Not that, we just make for... No, who are we kidding? We know full well that I just make for my own whatever.
But that's what makes it even better, because you make what you
make what I
will
want.
use as well. So you're not preaching to everyone.
Same effect, but I've got this sitting here, so I'm not going to cut into a whole new thing of that, but I will cut into one of these instead. So, because it would just mean one less kit for you guys. So I'm going to use this one today. Let's just trim that edge. All the instructions, my goodness, the photos that have gone into this. Jane had to come and hold my phone and take photos.
It has been a proper team effort.
It really has. Kind of like that sometimes. So from your ½ metre, these are very, very generous amounts. Well, I don't think that you can see that that's a selvage. You can't actually see any holes in there. I'm going to use it. I don't like waste. Going in, SJ, I am going in. Now, I have used a 3/4 of an inch seam allowance on this one here. If you want to go just with a ½ inch, that's absolutely fine. It's that sort of difference. And I just thought, if we like forgiving, SJ.
I do, yes.
Like my dungarees, they're very forgiving. Okay. And also, I've got cork in my... Oh, I've got cork all over the house. I love cork. I've got it in my kitchen as cork mats. I've got cork tiles all over the walls. Over one wall in the sitting room where the kids play darts. I say kids, Josh.
The little kids and the big kids.
Freddie, yeah. So this is going to be bigger than your fabric because that... what's the word I want?
Your seam allowance?
Seam allowance.
Sil Sparkly has asked if you can make a giant one to go with the huge piece of cake. I think we'd be here for a while.
What, a huge bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. And it would be done in exactly the same way. And just decide what seam allowance you want and add that on to your finished size that you want. I'm just going to do this in quarters to start off with. This will be a folding line rather than anything else. So there's a little bit of marking up to do on these. And then I am going to mark that 3/4 of an inch seam allowance on there. It's just handy to have as a guideline. So far, nice and easy, right?
It is. I'm following along so far.
Perfect. We'll just go back and double check that I did make that 3/4 of an inch. Because, you know, I wasn't really paying attention. Yes, it did. Oh, well done. It's been a long morning already, Esther.
It has been a long morning. It's been even longer for you.
My daughter this morning decided to get her own school uniform out of the tumble dryer
Of course.
and sort the washing,
Mhm.
which I'm very, very grateful for. Apart from the fact that when she's dragged it all out the tumble dryer and then just left it all over the floor to wash it all again.
Yeah. But she was being Little Miss Helpful in her head.
Very helpful. Now, from this seam allowance, we are going to measure. We're going to now measure in 4 inches and then across again 4 inches. And then if we've got our measurements right, from there to the seam allowance again will be, oh, should have been 4 inches. I've gone over somewhere. Where have I gone wrong? That's why I've made these just ever so slightly too big. it is all right. Yeah, it just needs to move over a tidge. If you want to measure it out from that outside line, take that seam allowance in. It's like when you're quilting, isn't it? That can just make a little bit of a difference. Not by much, but just by a little bit. So I'm going to take it in from that outside line. Taking in that seam allowance. There we go. Now, from here, I'm going to use our well, I'll pop from each corner here 1 1/4 inches, right? So you can put your little, I mean my 5-inch square is just perfect for this, but just measure 1 1/4 into each corner. So there's a little bit of marking out to do, but none of this is the end of the world. We are all very capable people and we can do this. SJ's just gone quiet. Like, oh.
Sorry, I'm really paying attention here, aren't I?
And then we're going to, into this square here, go from that mark there down into the corner of the square. So you're sort of creating like a kite effect. Just into this corner here. Now, you can carry on that all the way up. So from this line here, up. So edge of the corner, to there.
Ken has come up with a great idea. This could be good geometry homework for the kids when they get home.
Yes. I mean, the thing is, any bowl that can tidy up. Does Kelps come in and just empty his pockets everywhere?
Oh, yeah, we have a console in the hallway that is constantly filled up with his headphones and then spare change next to the bowl, but we can give it a go.
That's like dirty washing. It ends up next to the laundry basket.
Rather than in.
Yeah. That's just standard. Right, we are going to use this diagonal line as the fold line. Okay. It's where all these markings are now going to start to take shape. We're going to match that edge up there. Alligator clips are your friend here. They really are, because you can clip so much further in than you can with a normal quilting clip.
Yes.
And I want that stability because I'm going to sew from this line there. That's why we marked there and not right out on the edge here. I want this to make sure that that is the line that we're going from. So we're not sewing in that seam allowance. We're not sewing into the binding, we're just sewing from there and then sewing all the way off on every corner.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Got it, good. Yeah. And if you want to, just doubly make sure, then just clip all the way. It's just, we've got the last of these alligator clips. We're not getting any more in. When they are gone, they are gone. We've got them in a bundle with all the sizes, and I have used all the sizes with this make. Let's go closer. So I am going to start off by securing my stitch and then sewing down to the bottom, down to that corner, and just before I sew off it, securing the stitch. We're going to do that on every single corner. I'm going to take my clips off. I'm going to go to the next corner. And again, 3 clips around the place, that's absolutely fine as well. But the further down that you can clip as well, the more it just holds it in place. There we go. So again, as of reference, you've got the diagonal lines that's going to be the fold there that you can double check that you're on there. You've got the edges that you can do that on. You've got the line to start sewing from, the line to sew on. All of these different forms of reference, and we can start to see that we are already taking shape.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, right. So again, I'm folding there. Just going to clip a little bit further down. I've done a version of this where I sewed from the very edge down. And then the last corner. So again, you can see we're folding on that diagonal line. And starting go overhead. So we can see we're I'm not switched.
Sorry.
Oh, I've got a hole in my jumper. It's annoying. There we are. Each corner away.
It is amazing how quickly it started to take shape just from those few stitches.
It is, isn't it? But if I can just show you the last one as I cut it overhead. There we go. So that is my 1/4 inch line on that sewn line there. Again, in the instructions, you know what we're like. We always go overboard with all the pictures. Now, I'm going to get my seam ripper and very, very carefully just seam rip down into that corner. Okay? Doesn't matter if you don't get right down into the very, very tiny, tiny, tiny bits, but because we're using cork rather than, whoops, oh no, rather than just fabric, right. If this happens, okay, and you are a little bit heavy-handed, we fix it. Do you know how we fix it? We fix it with a little bit of this. You're going to be using it anyway, okay, but that can be easily fixed, and it's going to be on the bottom and you won't see it. The other thing that you can do to prevent that, by the way, would be to put a pin on that end bit there.
So you can't go past it.
So you can't go past it. And I thought about doing that and then thought, no, it's fine, it's fine. No, it's not fine. I should have done that as a little safety net. That's on me. All right, get yourself a scrap piece of paper. scrap piece of paper, scrap piece of fabric. You're going to be using your bonder web later anyway. So this is your bond and repair. I'm kind of pleased that happened because that will happen to someone, and I don't want you thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to throw it all away. No, you haven't. You're going to need either parchment paper or a Teflon sheet anyway for this. On the back of your fabric or either side of your fabric, put a bit of that bond and repair. Okay? This is now like a sticky plaster for fabric. All right? So we're never going to panic if something like this happens. We are simply going to repair it. Okay? So from there, yeah, we can see that you can barely see it at all. Literally, that's all it's going to do is go on there like a bandage. Now, you can apply some heat with your iron onto cork. But that is all it needs. Bearing in mind that later we're going to adhere that anyway. Mm-hmm. All right? So you are not going to know that is even there. Can you see it?
If we go back into the centre, you could see it, yeah.
But, I mean, can you see that?
No.
No, you can't. So it's not anything to worry about. You can trim off that excess. It's entirely up to you. But there is no drama there. So just if you do that, please don't panic and think my project is over.
Or throw it away.
Or throw it away. No, don't. No, because it doesn't need proper bandage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What we're going to do is just open up those seams, and we're going to sew down one side as far as you can sort of realistically go, and then sew back up the other, starting on this mark. This is why we marked the seam allowance. Okay, so we're going to start from there, because then it makes this, and these were the little bits that took me 3 attempts to get to. All right, and I've done it so that you don't have to. You just don't have to.
We've got all the prototypes.
We do have all the prototypes, yeah.
You can just have the finished piece.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fine too. So, you can see that is, you're just sewing your seam down. If you don't want to sew it down, it just gets a little bit bobbly. The other thing I guess you could do is put a line of quilter's wash away tape on there and just press it back if you don't want to stitch it.
Ken has asked if you can use a heavyweight cork that is more flexible for this project.
Heavyweight cork? Don't know how much heavier you go, really. You can, I mean, you can, because the thing is, if you did that, you might not then want, you might want to use the Decaville Light rather than the Buckram for interfacing your fabric. As long as you end up with something that is as rigid as you want it to be. And again, these are serving suggestions, right? You can use whatever you want. Now I'm just sewing, when I'm sewing, where it starts, where I've cut it with the seam ripper, it sort of, what do I mean by that? I mean by, it gives you like a V, so I'm just tapering down, and when I hit that seam line, that's when I'm turning and then just sewing back up the other side.
Got it.
And this is why being able to show you on air is so much easier, because trying to explain that You can get a certain way with it, but it's really nice to just be able to show you it as well. Last one. I'm still trying to think how much of a heavier cork. I'll be honest and just say I don't. So you would just need to make sure that it was a special sewable cork. Okay, so we have got the back of my jumper. There we are. Okay. So we've got, and you'll trim off all these threads, I'm not going to bother now. But you've got it so that it sort of comes like a snake's tongue.
Oh, yes.
At the end. And you want that. That's exactly what you want. Okay. Let's make the next bit. Okay. So, what we are going to do now is get our buckram now. This is it. It's a big one. Let's try to see if I've got any spare bits. Anyway.
Rather than having to cut into the...
Do you want it? Surely that can't be all that's left of it, because it was a big bit. Do I
Can't
know what
see
I've
any
done
on
with it?
this side.
Huh?
Said I can't see any on this side.
Who knows? We'll just... Oh, here
Oh,
it
there
is.
you go.
Put it in the middle of it.
Ta-da!
It's tidying. This is mine. Now, we're going to make this double-sided sticky. Double-sided sticky. That's what we're going to make this. All right? But it doesn't come double-sided sticky. It comes one-sided sticky, of course. So we will rectify that in our very own Makesy fashion.
Of course.
Of course, says SJ. SJ is now familiar with the Makesy way.
I'm not good at the Makesy way myself, but I appreciate it.
Appreciate the Makesy way. So we are going to make this into a 12-inch square. And pick a side, any side really, for marking up with your pencil a grid simply of 4 inches. Okay, because this is the middle bit. This doesn't have to have seam allowances added or binding seam allowances or anything like that added. You're just going to do a grid.
Sylvia's asking, what is the stabiliser you're using? I missed that. So it's the buckram, yeah.
It's buckram. And it's got, can you see it's sort of shiny on one side? That is an adhesive on one side. We're going to make it into a double adhesive. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Sylv. Yes, we are. Just bear with. We will get there. So, again, we draw on our diagonal lines. Now, again, you can use a template if you want, or going into that corner. And again, you can then, like we did the outer, we marked at the same point,
Yes.
minus the seam allowance. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. paying full attention this morning.
I am trying.
And then we're going to do the exact same thing, taking it right into those corners. Going right into this tip here. Okay, now from here we're going to make it double-sided. Before we do that, that centre square, just fold in around that centre square. SJ, do we think it was the battery department that made my thing flash?
Not sure, because I've just had a message from Gemma to say that there's a little bit of interference on the mics.
It could be where I'm leaning forward. On there. But it's fine, because IT has just arrived.
Yes.
I did say if we sent out a message to say that I was flashing, he would be here in a flash. And sure enough, here he is. Right, this is bond and repair. If you don't have this in your house anyway, what are you doing? When stuff rips, tears, the kids rip or tear their jeans or whatever, you do want this in your home. It's really difficult to show you because it's expensive. And actually, after lockdown, we've really struggled to get it. Bonder web, bond and repair, fuser web, they're all basically the same thing. They are like a cobweb of glue. And what we're going to do, and you want to make sure that you use either baking sheet, or if you've got a Teflon pressing sheet, whip that out now. And we're going to put that over here and adhere it on. Okay? Now, I don't want to wreck my cutting mat, my pressing mat. So I'm going to fold that in half and do it little bit by little bit. But it just means this stuff's just really great. I have fixed horses' rugs and also it's really strong. We had an ex-racehorse come to live with us for a little bit. He had to learn how to be a horse, having been a racehorse, because every time they tried to turn him out into the field, they live out as naturally as we possibly can. But Chester wrecked his rugs.
Oh.
So on the regular, and I felt really awful for his owner. He was just like, what's he done again? So she's a friend of mine. I've had a few horses off her in the past. In fact, Violet Elizabeth we need to cut this show short because Violet Elizabeth is on 3 legs. Yeah, came from her.
Ah.
She was a winner. She was a racehorse that actually won stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And all of her foals that she's bred, they've all gone on to be winners. And she was the horse that I had after I had Freddie. She came to me as an ex-racehorse, but a sensible one to get me back up safely on board a horse, having had children. As you do.
So Ken has asked the question.
Yeah, because I'm just randomly chatting.
Sorry, yeah. But that's what we do on Natasha Makes. We all have a little chat. We all talk about life.
Yeah, animals, everything else.
Decaville. Which is better for this project?
Depends what finish you want.
Yeah.
Let me show you the Decaville. This is the Decaville Light. Okay, so it's adhesive and it's a strong interfacing.
The book one's a bit harder, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you use this, then your bowl will end up like that. I mean, it's beautiful. And actually what I didn't do with this was use the Bonder web. So that would probably be a bit firmer with the Bonder web. But it is, and you know, there's nothing wrong with it. This feels like a bowl.
It's a bit more
Like
sturdy.
it's solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want something that, if you're not, you know, if you're not worried about it holding things and being super, super, super rigid, then Decaville Light is fine.
Yeah.
Or if you're worried about it going under your machine or anything like that, then go for the lighter one. Your fabric. So if you wanted to double up on this one, then you'd get the same effect. But what's the point in doing it twice if
You can do it once.
you can do it once? Yeah. That's it.
It just gives you two different finishes, but
Yeah, and everyone's got their preferences, so
Yes.
it's, you know, it's entirely up to you. So what we have is a double fusible interfacing, and we are going to, not with our best scissors, cut these bits away. Snipping into that corner. Right, last one. We are really concentrating. You know when it goes quiet, we're all like... There we go. Okay. But we can clear all of these out of the way. Put me on the channel.
sorry guys, we've got IT support back in again.
Morning, IT Sports. Lovely to have your company.
I feel like we should be saying afternoon already, but it's not.
It's not, is it? No, it's really not. So, Emperor Peony. Here we go. We can get that out of the way. We've used that now. That's all we need. Oh yeah, so dog coats, horse blankets, anything like that. Just brilliant for it. It's got to be this bit, hasn't it?
I think so.
Shovel all those out the way. So yeah, fussy cut to your heart's desire, the bits that you want. Now, oofed. So, because I'm doing 12 inches, I'm going to be looking at sort of that. Obviously, this is a 12.5-inch square, so I will cut off that little remaining bit. Oh, it's a bit lush. So I'll cut it to the ruler width, if you like, and then I will just, once it's out of the fabric, cut away from you. This is why we give you half a metre.
So you can cut right in the middle.
Right in the middle of it. Yes. Yes. But classic Sanderson, I mean, my goodness, isn't that pretty? I'm going to trim that back a little bit to my 12 inches there. Am I happy with that? Yeah. blade. I need a new blade. And then what we're going to do is adhere this onto here. Now, obviously, we did a thing, didn't we? Whereby we made it doubly adhesive. So please make sure that you use your pressing mat. Steam. Peel it off. Gotta love Teflon. What did we do before Teflon, SJ?
I don't remember life without it.
No! That's the thing, isn't it? Not gonna lie, I rather love this. Ever so slightly off. There we are. So you want those two lines to be flush. Okay, and we're going to sew on that line there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the printer still only just doing its thing?
Yeah.
Amazing. Technology has all gone a bit bonkers today, hasn't it?
It has a bit.
What we are really hopeful of is that at the new warehouse we will have better broadband. That's what we are really hopeful of.
Yes.
Just because it's
I think IT support has said that they will be on the phone to our internet provider as soon as we come off air
well,
today.
if it dips under a certain amount, it's meant to kick in with extra backup and support, and it hasn't. So we will be having strong words. So we are doing this all the way around, not the strong words. But just folding on that diagonal, lining up those edges, clipping that in place to then sew down that line. And I am going back, reinforcing that edge stitch.
We keep on intermittently dropping out of our stream on Facebook, like completely to a black screen. So I'm just trying to fix that.
Thanks, SJ. I don't know why it's suddenly gone so bad. Is it because can we turn the printer off, actually? Would that just make more sense? Because that takes up bandwidth.
It might do.
Because is it dropping out every time the printer goes on?
There we go. We should be back now. We should have our stream back
Did we
on
change the
Facebook.
angle?
Yeah.
Everything. Sorry, SJ.
Ah. 1 second, everybody.
Yay! There we go. So we've sewn down there, down there. It's been printing bits and bobs all through, Jane, and I wonder if that's what's interfering every time the printer goes off. I don't know. There are gremlins. Gremlins, gremlins, gremlins today is what it is. Do you know where to turn it off, Esther? You have no idea, do you? Right, scissors. That's what I need. Did you just cancel it or did you just turn it off?
I just turned it off.
We're just going to trim back that seam allowance. Now if you want to, you can press that onto your fusible bit. Or you can just push it to one side. It's entirely up to you. Oh, well, haven't you seen normally, Esther, we have this one when you're not here. We normally save all of this fun stuff.
And I feel
when
like
you're not
it's
here.
doubled up on us today.
Yeah.
Just
I
as
have
my
no idea
payback.
why.
I think the universe is paying me back, isn't it, for not
Go
being
away
here last
and see what
Wednesday.
happens. Yeah. So just cut that down, trim that back, get into those little bits. Dee dee dee. And what you can do, you can always put that over there and just use your iron and just press those just onto the side. And again, it doesn't have to be, or if you don't want to faff about with an iron, then get something like your glue stick. Just to keep that out of the way. And again, it's not the end of the world. It's just a way to keep them flat. It's just less bulk if they are off to one side, or rather open.
The glue pen does seem like an easier option than the iron.
Yeah, you know. It only has to hold it for a minute, because then I believe we had to band-aid this. Hilarious. Right.
I love the fact that it actually looks like a fabric plaster as well.
I know it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just great. Well done, me. The other thing about that is, because this is adhesive, you will be able to adhere that onto there anyway later on. So again, it's got double bubble to hold it. Right, that now is going to sit into the middle of that. We need another slurp of coffee.
Ken has said you're doing a wonderful job, Natasha. It's not been an easy morning.
Who said that?
Ken.
Oh, thanks, Ken.
And Sil Sparkly has said, what a greedy printer. Doesn't like sharing power with anyone.
I can only assume that's what it is.
It's sucking power from us too.
I know. Rude. Right, get all your crocodile clips in all the world, because you're going to try and centre this bowl. Okay, now, as much as you can, use that as your guideline, and you're going to try and give it a good old tug to get it where you need, and then get those clips on. This is why quilters clips, unless you've got the really long expensive ones, but I've only got like the little ones.
And we have got these alligator clips
There's a bundle, yeah.
in a bundle with a cracking discount on it. It's basically like 50%. It's half price, so it's even better price.
So if you haven't got them, grab them. Then
Yeah.
you've just got them, haven't you? When they're gone, they're not getting any more.
We have only got a handful of those complete bundles left as well, because one of the sizes we are really low on stock. But they are handy.
As you can see, they're really handy, because that's holding everything in place at a distance. And so that's equally placed in there. And then this is where we get grateful for the fact that we've got some form of adhesion. And because we sewed back the seams on the darts, we've got less bulk. And don't be afraid to really push that base into the base of your cork. The buckram, because it's a natural substance, it does go a little bit softer if you apply steam. Now, of course, it's not going to adhere into the corners there because we folded back the seam, but it's just, this is just to kind of baste it as much as we can to stop it from moving, give it that extra bit of rigidity.
Catherine from Rose Garland Creations has joined us for the first time.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All the way from Australia.
Sometimes we have internet here in little old England.
It's not usually like this, we promise.
You know what? We are right in between two major cities. Like if you go 10 minutes in one direction, you're in the middle of Coventry.
Yeah.
We are 10 minutes from the NEC at Birmingham, and yet I have better signal in Cornwall.
I guess we're in a little bit of a no man's land here,
Yeah.
and so our internet is not always like this.
No, it's just been this last Wednesday onwards. It's been a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, we do need to speak to our provider and see if there's been some sort of works being done around the area that might be affecting us, but usually we are better than this, Catherine.
Better than this, SJ. We're better than this.
But I hope you're enjoying the show anyway.
Let's get this binding on and then it's done. Opposite edges, what we're going to do is fold over. Now, Jane and I were at pains to see whether or not there was going to be an easier way to do this, and we think this is the best way. You are going to follow this seam line up, and you are going to trim back on that seam line. Now, in case you go wobbly on the other side, what you're going to do is just fold it over and cut flush with the end there. Okay? So you've got one side that is flush with the end of the bowl, and then this one folds over to give you kind of like a faux bound effect. And that was just the best way that we could think to do it. So then over here, what I would say, because of how we then stick it down, on this side, again, have this side folding in, and then this one, follow the line of that seam up and just cut up into that corner. Now, this does not have to be an exact science, because you are giving yourself leeway in leaving this one flush up to the corner. It's like a beginner's binding. It's really holding your hand. Okay? So let's do the same over here. For these ones, we cut flush. With the edge of the bowl, like so, and then this one you're going to follow this line up and cut on a diagonal. So that one's flush, and this one you cut on the diagonal. Okay?
Fabulous.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Does it? Good. Thank goodness for that. Get your quilters wash away tape out again. Get your tape out, it is your friend. Because we're going to baste all of this now in place. We're going to start with opposite corners. And these were the ones that went all up into the corners that we didn't chop on the diagonal. Okay. And you're going to fold that over. Now, if you haven't quite got your bowl square, you have got enough wiggle room to just fold that over to make it equal. This is where any wobbly bits or anything are rectified.
They can
Okay,
be
so we're
hidden.
not going to worry about wobbly bits, are we, SJ?
No, we never worry about
We never
wobbly
worry
bits.
about the wobble here. No, we do not. We are all about the wobble, in fact, here.
And we
It's
do
all
embrace it.
good. We embrace the wobble. But this is it. So when I've looked at other ways that people have made them, you've got to be so exact. And that's just not, and it can really put you off. When I say you, me, it really puts me off
It's just
making
not the
stuff.
Natasha Makes way, is it?
Well, no, because
to
we're
be
human.
exact.
We're human, and I think sometimes it's just a bit too much pressure, especially if you're new to this and you want to give it a go. And please do give it a go, because these are lovely, lovely makes, right? But you can see that's equal. It's all good. But actually, you know, this one, I know that's ever so, I've had to compensate ever so slightly in that corner. When it's sewn in, is anybody else going to know?
No.
Are they, heck? No, they are not. So don't give yourself a hard time on it. Like, just enjoy it. Because even like 2 hours from now, no one's going to remember.
Pat Adams has just said, life's a wobble, enjoy it.
Exactly. Embrace that wobble.
And Jan's asked if she can use the tape for her wobbly bits.
I mean, wobble away. Do you know what? I wore it was Josh's birthday last weekend. And was it only last weekend?
Yes, yeah.
We went to Bongo's Bingo, which I've been telling about since I went with my friend Anna. And it's just the most ridiculous, inappropriate fun you can have. Just so much fun. And I wore a jumpsuit. And I wanted my bra to stay in place in the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
I did consider my quarters wash away tape. I did.
It would have worked.
As like a form of tape. Am I allowed to say that? No. 'Cause you're not cross. Just said it, sorry.
It's too late.
We trim that back there. And then fold that in. Oh yes. Oh yes, SJ. This is all looking marvellous. I do like a bit of sticky tape. Not going to lie, it makes everything all right.
Works wonders.
My daughter's 5 and she's already worked that out.
I
Should we not just use a bit of gaffer tape to sort that, Mummy? Yep.
I ordered a pair of trousers just before I bought a pair of trousers just before we went on holiday, but obviously we barely had time to pack, let alone then get out a sewing machine, which I don't own, so I would have had to have gone to someone who had a sewing machine to tape my trousers up. But I remembered that I got some Bondo web. No?
You got, you did get
It was,
the
wasn't
Bondo
it?
web. Yeah. You got it in the strips.
Yeah.
So the hemming Bondo web
Yes,
stuff.
yeah. And I remembered about it. I got it out and I was there with my little mini iron.
Yeah.
And I took my trousers up in seconds.
Yep.
I was like, this stuff is
It's perfect.
miracle
And
worker.
And this is why we have it. And now we are going to sew that down and we're done. Isn't it beautiful?
It is.
So in love with this bowl. It's just ridiculous. Right, I'm just going to sew around that edge. Go as close as you can to that edge. As close as you feel comfortable. The thing is, this is cork. It ain't going to fray, so it doesn't matter. Pivoting. I don't know how much you can actually see from that angle. You can see my hand, can't you? We might be better off. Front.
Going straight on.
Yeah.
The bowl is getting in the way of the camera.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about this sewable cork is that it's not sticky. It's not like working with PU. It's not sticky. You can see this. I'm just guiding it. I'm not even trying to do anything fancy. And there it is. Managed to get dirty mark on it already. Well done, me. That's my bowl done.
That looks so beautiful.
Isn't it lovely? Really lovely. And it has got that stability there. I'm going to go around and chop off all my spare threads. Yeah.
And then
I love that. I really love that. It's going in my kitchen.
it would go very nicely in your kitchen.
It's going to in about half an hour when I go and eat my lunch. That's exactly where it's going.
Lovely.
Eek. So yeah, that is today's show. Sometimes broadcasting, sometimes intermittent, sometimes. Actually, do you know what else it would be really useful for as well?
We did have a viewer say you can pop your clips into the bowl.
The clips and everything else. It's just a very beautiful thing. You can. The other thing to say is, of course, you can Odicoat this. You can Odicoat it because it's just, yeah, then you can wipe it clean.
Yeah.
Odicoat it before you cut it. Odicoat it and let it dry.
Okay. Don't Odicoat it at the end.
No, because it just goes stodgy and splodgy.
Got you.
So Odicoat your fabric before you do anything with it. That's the rule of thumb with Odicoat. There we go.
Stunning.
One bowl.
Shall we just do a quick little recap for anyone that did miss the announcement at the beginning?
So the announcement at the beginning is we are moving warehouse again. Hooray!
Nervous laugh.
We moved in here, 8-9 months ago, with no idea of how little repairs had been done previously.
Yeah.
And it's got to the stage now, and in the last year I've been pushing for things to be, I mean, gosh, do you remember that wall over there was literally stripped, re-skimmed, and then painted the day before we launched in here. So it's been an uphill battle. We've had various challenges that, quite frankly, you guys didn't need to know about because it's our problem, not yours. But it's got to the stage now where they will finally do the renovations for us, but we have to move out because of a health and safety thing. There's that much work going on. And also, we can't say to workmen, you can be here
between the
work,
hours of...
but not work between the hours of 10 and possibly half 11, possibly 12, depending on how much I chat. So it has been decided all round if it's best if we just move out.
Yes.
If we just go for as long as it takes, and then we'll move back in again. Oh, great. There'll be another warehouse sale then.
Yes.
So in the meantime, we're looking on it as a spring clean. Any fabric and any item that I remember moving here that hasn't been on a show or hasn't sold, because the only way that you get to view things is if I bring it and show it on a show. And you know, crazily enough, some of the fabrics haven't quite had the airings that we've wanted to, because we've had things like the pirates. Do you remember when the pirates meant that all our fabrics were a month delayed, so we had to order extra fabrics in to fill that month gap?
Yeah.
And
then we got all the fabrics.
Fabrics, and we couldn't do enough shows to get through them. So there's all sorts there. It's not the fabric's fault.
No.
It's not the fabric's fault.
We just couldn't give it the time that it deserved.
We couldn't. I feel sad about it, but there it is. You benefit, so you don't need to feel sad at all. At all. And I'm not moving it again.
I don't think we physically can. So, yeah. I
don't want to.
No.
So we will just take our essentials. So our planes and things like that we know that we will consistently use, we will take with us. Our core stock.
And then any new fabric that we've got shows planned with.
But anything
so
else,
we will still have newness.
We'll go, and if we need it again, we can buy it again when we're there.
Yeah.
So for today, I went through the denim shelves. So the stretch denim all up, and I've cut it into metre pieces because then I know exactly where I am with it.
Yeah.
I went through the batiks, the rest of the batiks. Again, that's been cut into. I've done like 2 or 2.5 metre lengths of that, so that you can use it usefully for backings. It's got 30% off. There's a blanket 30% off, which is probably
the biggest amount that we've ever taken off fabric.
I think once we did 40% on something that just needed to go, but
not across
But not
this
across-
many
no, no,
lines.
no,
Never,
absolutely
ever.
not.
So
Absolutely
it
not.
is a big whopping discount. It's an absolute bargain for big quantities of fabric as well.
And that's why we can do, I'm prepared to put a discount on it of this magnitude, because I'm not going to cut it up into little bits.
No.
Because then I've got to pay staff, I've got to pay time, there's a time implement and everything else. Whereas if I'm just cutting a metre, that's fine, or a 2 metre piece, that's fine, and it's done. When it's gone, it's gone. Don't expect me to get it back. There's a reason it's in clearance. It's because I don't have a show planned with it.
Yeah.
It's
So
not that
you
it's
can.
not lovely, it's just I don't have a show planned with it.
Yes. You can find all of these fabrics in the fabric clearance section.
Is it in the fabric clearance?
Yes, it has been
clearance?
tagged.
What's it going to be called?
It's been tagged into the fabric clearance section for now. And it's also in today's collection as well.
Okay.
So you will be able to find it in both of those places.
Please keep an eye, because we're going to be adding. Gemma is still working from home because she's still not able to drive, which means that she's got, as she said to me, far more time to be loading stuff. So as we go through it, so next up will be the cotton velvets. They'll be cut into metre pieces, so that we know exactly how many of those, because a lot of those we just continue, we have them as a core and we continue to just sell them, and when we run out we get a new roll. So we don't necessarily know how much is on those rolls, so we will cut them into metre pieces, and then also it just makes it easy to just pack and go.
Yes.
So that's going to be done. So the velvet and the PU are the next two shelves to be stripped and done.
So keep your eyes peeled if any of that fabric sounds like it needs to be added to your collection.
Yeah. And of course, if you are putting in multiple orders, do let us know, because we will combine your postage.
Yes.
We are not expecting to, we're kind of expecting to make a loss on the postage here, because these are going to be big heavy bundles, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But anything that you order within the same day, we will combine orders, we will get it sent out to you.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah. Just bear with us as we get through it. That's all I can say. Just please bear with us while we do it.
We don't actually have a date for the move, so it's just in preparation.
Yeah, but
we're just going to keep going.
I'm just not going to get to that stage where it has to be done in a rush. We're not doing that.
No.
We're doing it.
We've done that. Been there. We've got the T-shirt.
If you do not learn from past experiences, what were you doing? What were you doing?
So we're trying
that's
to
what
be.
we're doing.
We're trying to
Grown
get
up.
ahead. We're
We're
trying to be grown
adulting.
up. Yes.
Actually,
We're trying.
adulting.
We'll see how it goes.
It's all good, but basically, fill your boots, your baskets, and anything else you
And
want to
enjoy.
fill. Enjoy it. It's all beautiful, beautiful stuff. Like I say, it just hasn't had a slot on a show, and that is our showcase for our fabrics. So that's it, really. Of course, there's also bolt ends. There's the warehouse clearance.
We're still going to be doing our Friday deals, so you're still going to get lots of goodies there.
So it's just
Just keep an eye on the
really
website.
Make the most of this, because once we move, it's going to be proper money again. Proper full price. So make the most of this while you can, and get your
kits for today as well. They're also in today's collection.
Gorgeous. That goes with my teapot. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us. Jane's here tomorrow with this table runner with the last of the Lisa Chandler Waratah bouquets.
Because they're not being reprinted, are they?
No, so it's the Melba. That's
it's
not being
Melba,
reprinted,
okay.
But this is the last of our stock of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that in that, because I can get Lisa fabric when we move.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be humping it from here to there.
And it just looks stunning, and it would go nicely
with your bowl. Yeah, all of that. So there we go.
Thank you for sticking with us today.
Thank you. From last week, of course, if you're a Natasha McCarthy design member, that make is now up on there, along with the ones that we did on the workshop as well.
We have got Sharon just asking what that mermaid pouch is behind you. That is the easy
this one.
pouch with pocket.
Easy pouch with pocket.
Yeah.
We did this last week. This was last week's make. This is your mermaid PU. Now this only came in last week. My daughter's face. You know when you just wish. Can we go a close up on this?
Yes.
You know, and I just wish that we could have just gauged her reaction when she saw this. Look, it's got glitter and everything.
I bet she wanted to roll in the whole entire roll.
Oh yeah, completely. These are the little kits that we put together. If you want to have like a lanyardy thing. I don't know if we've got any of those.
I think we
left.
sold out.
Did we?
Sold out of all of them,
yeah. Yeah, and I'll do a design
version.
video for that, so that you can see how to make those, because you can make that out of your own PU with your own template. These were pre-cut ones, kind of like cheap ones. So there we go. But that is that one. But it just looks so different in different fabrics. So this was the other version that we did.
With a little bit of sparkle.
This is a really perfect make if you've got lots of fabrics from the same collection and you've got bits of it left, because that's from the same collection with the owls.
Yeah.
And then I've whacked the aqua glitter PU because it's blinking gorgeous.
That is lovely.
So there we go. Thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Me and Jane.
Yes.
10 o'clock. You know where to find us. We'll be here. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye.